He married my great-great-grandmother, Caroline Pickens, from Virginia. I've been in contact with the Pickens just recently on Ancestry. Anyway, he married Caroline. They had 3 little girls, and she was pregnant with the fourth child. And Caroline is sitting in her room sewing one day, and all of a sudden she hears the door close behind her. And she said, "Oh, just a minute, dear, I've got to finish this. I'll be right with you," thinking it was her husband, right? So, and he didn't say anything, so she turned, and there's her grandmother in the room with her. And grandmother was dead, of course. And she kind of, probably blinked and said, "Wow, what is this?" And her grandmother said, "Don't be afraid, Caroline. I've just come that I have to tell you that you're going to die when the baby is born. You'll die 9 days after the baby is born." And Caroline probably, I'm sure she was in shock, I doubt that she knew what to think. So, okay, and then she kind of sat there for a few minutes, and then she thought, was I dreaming? Did I go to sleep? I mean, what in the world happened? Did I have a visitation from my grandmother? Well, she went on about her business and taking care of the little girl. She didn't say anything to her husband, but she couldn't forget about it. So the next day she called Granny Jarvis, who lives nearby. Granny Jarvis was supposed to come when the baby was born for the line in, they called it, when she would take care of the children. So Granny Jarvis, and she told Granny Jarvis the story, and Granny Jarvis believed her. And she said, "But you can't tell anybody until I tell you it's okay." Granny Jarvis was like, "Okay." So everything went on through the summer, and she started cutting up her own clothes and making baby clothes. Her husband noticed this, and he said, "Why are you doing that? Cloth for you is so much more expensive than children." And she said, "Oh, well, it just thinks I won't be needed." So time went on. October came. The baby was born on October 30th. Dr. Reagan attended, which was kind of unusual. Usually there was probably a midwife there also. And everything went fine, although some people said that he had a little bit of difficulty with the birth. But anyway, it was fine. A few days went by, everything's fine. Okay. About the 8th day, Dr. Reagan said to his wife, Mary Ann, in the picture here, said, "Caroline wasn't looking as well yesterday. I think I better go over and take a look." And she said, "Yes, you should do that." So he went over, and when he went over, Caroline called him into the room. And she called Granny Jarvis, and she asked Granny Jarvis to tell her what she had told her. She added a couple of comments. And she looked at her husband, and this was on November 8th, 9 days later. And she looked at her husband and said, "Now you know why I don't need my clothes." And she smiled and folded her hands. She was gone. A ghost story, she was telling her. This was Caroline. We call her Caroline 1. Well, Reverend Pickens had 4 little girls. So he almost immediately married Susan Forgy to take care of the children. They had 4 more children, and she died after a period of time, and he married Lisa White, and they had 4 more. So his father had 12 children, he had 12 children. And it was very common in those days. Very common in those days, that you remarried right away to take care of the children. That's why Davy Crockett married Elizabeth Patton in Asheville. They didn't really know each other, but they met each other, and he had kids to take care of, and he wanted to be off exploring, so.